Will be the soldiers of World War III. I'm talking to everyone in a NATO country between the ages of 18 and 26 years old. Listen closely. Share this with everyone because this isn't hypothetical anymore. This is where we are headed. Right now, Russia has officially abandoned all peace talks and declared the total destruction of Ukraine as its goal. NATO is mobilizing, the US is deploying assets in Europe, marking the most comprehensive defense posture since the Cold War. And tensions, they're stretching thinner by the hour. You think you'll have a choice? Think again. The moment Article 5 is triggered, everything changes. There will be a draft, and this time, they're not going to ask. And here's the real truth as to why. America isn't ready. Europe isn't ready. If this escalates, survival won't just mean avoiding the front lines. It'll mean enduring chaos here at home. Economic collapse, civil unrest, supply chain failure. Because when the system breaks, and it will, war becomes local. And as a father, I will say this plainly. I will not let my sons die in a war built by the mistakes of men in suits. Not for NATO, not for global posturing, not for lies wrapped in flags. So you better start thinking now. Because if this continues, the question isn't if war is coming. It's how soon. Who will be the soldier?
Shalom. Call HALAL YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH has given all praise to the Most High, in the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to our teachers, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom to 144,000. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And that woe is going into destruction, okay? Or as you see, terror, okay? And, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, it's going to be, made evident. It's going to be made known, that the Lord is not playing, okay? Through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the whole world is going to come to the realization that the prophets that's been out there on the streets telling you that war was coming, that all hell is about to break loose, that America is about to be engulfed in flames, they're not going to seem so crazy, man. Okay, as this guy right here says the draft is coming, no one's ready. Okay, and you see what's going on in Ukraine, where they're just grabbing up men, pulling up in, vans and grabbing men off the street and, pretty much kidnapping them and drafting them into war. So a draft is coming. Okay, and a lot of these young men out here, these YNs and these niggas that got no purpose and no goal in life, that's just out here roaming, doing niggatry, they're going to start, sending you niggas across, across the pond to your destruction, man. All right. It's going to get very, very, very bad, and it's going to be, and in war times, there is no peace, man. Okay. So get ready for, to be more uncomfortable. Get ready for all hell to break loose. They're going to try to send off your sons and your daughters here in America to these wars, and they're not coming back. All right. So it says, in the NLT, the second terror is past, but look, the third terror is coming quickly. So these terrors, okay, all right, these wars are coming quickly. And this third world war is going to be a mighty war, okay, a mighty war where a lot of people are about to die, okay. And he said, don't even just worry about the war. Worry about what happens in the time of war, okay. It's going to be a very, very, very uncomfortable time for you Babylonians, okay. This is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 4. It says, mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee. So all the ways you people are participating in that's against Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the Lord is going to recompense you for all that, man. He's going to pay you back. It says, and thine abomination shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right, you're going to know who the true God of the Bible is. It says, verse 5, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and evil and only evil, behold, look, it's come. So look, evil and only evil is come, which evil goes into bad times. Okay, bad time and only bad time has come. I told somebody the other day, she was, she was, it's a woman I know from Venezuela. She was telling me she don't know what she should do, whether she should stay, whether she should go. I said, I'm gonna be real with you. It's about to get much worse here in America than it is in Venezuela right now. It says in verse 6, it says, an end is come, the end is come, it watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. Right, the end of this society, of this rulership is coming, man. Okay, the end of this kingdom as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. In NLT, it says, I will turn my eyes away and show no pity. And the Lord ain't going to show no pity in these last days, man. So you're going to see a lot of our people get put to death in the most gruesome, worst ways. And it's going to be no pity, no mercy. All right? This is the mercy right here with these videos, these shows, these camps, brothers we're going out to, and you out here barbecuing while we teaching the Bible in a hot-ass sun, and you people out like you don't see us and you don't hear us. That was the mercy, and you took it for granted. Now it's time to face your judgment. It says, I will repay you for your detestable sins, right? All the pork, all the abomination, all the adultery, all the wickedness that's been going on. The Lord going to repay you for that. It says, then you will know that I am Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahawashi. You're going to know who the true God of the Bible is. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Disaster after disaster is coming your way, right? Like a domino effect. One disaster leads to another, and then that disaster leads to another, and then that disaster leads to 5 more. It says, the end has come. It has finally arrived. Your final doom is waiting. And this is the time we're coming into, the time of your final doom, the time of your great death and destruction. And this is why the Lord has set up the prophets to go out there and warn you people, but you didn't take heed to the warnings. Okay, so now it's time for you to face the wrath. It says, Joel chapter 3, verse 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Okay, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let them all draw. It's like you let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And this is what they're doing. They're preparing war. They're about to do a draft and wake up all the mighty men, okay, and send your ass, you know, jumping out of a plane with a parachute, man, in some, war-torn country. It's about to get bad, all right? It says, beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. And these other nations, that's what they're doing, man. They're becoming strong with these nuclear missiles. They're spending all their money, okay, on nuclear missiles and weapons to fight in these wars. All right, they're not, worried about food or anything like that anymore. They were about, war. In the NLT, let's read the NLT. It says, verse 9, say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. And I just did a video last week about how, the razor bumps. Esau talking about he gonna start kicking people out of the military that got razor bumps, which is talking about Jake, because that's really something that affects Jake. That's what you should hope. If you're in the military right now, you should hope that you can get, discharged in some way, form, or fashion, so you don't have to die in these wars. Because everybody in the military, you're gonna die. Okay, it says verse 10, hammer that's why the scripture says, though they hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. If you shall be found joined unto them, you're gonna be destroyed with them. It says hammer your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Right, they're turning all their, their financial, system into complete. They're putting it all towards weapons. Okay, it says train even your weaklings to be warriors. Come quickly, all you nations everywhere. Gather together in the valley. And now the Lord Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahawashi will and now the Lord Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahawashi call out your warriors. It says, let the nations be called to arms. Let them march to the valley of Jehoshaphat. And that's what's coming. People are going to be marching to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is over there in that Middle Eastern region where these nations are going to gather and they're going to be fighting. And then the Lord's going to crack the sky, destroy them, and come and just deliver us before the nukes hit. It says, there I, the Lord, will sit and pronounce judgment on them all. The Lord's going to pronounce judgment. Okay, bring judgment upon them. It says, swing the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come tread the grapes, for the winepress is full. The storage vats are overflowing with the wickedness of these people. Right. So it's going to be, a righteous thing for the Lord to bring this death and destruction. It says, thousands upon thousands are waiting in the valley of decision. There, the day of the Lord will soon arrive. And this is why they want to draft, because when they draft you, they're going to send you over there to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and you're going to be sitting up there fighting. You think you're fighting, but really you're just waiting for the Lord to show up. And when the Lord shows up, he's going to, make a complete, utter destruction of these militaries, man. All right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 28. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, and the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. Okay, which the modern day, Medes is the Russians. It says, and the land shall tremble in sorrow for every purpose of the Lord Yahweh Shai shall be performed against Babylon. So it's the Lord, everything the Lord got set for Babylon is going to be performed against Babylon. All right, the famine, the pestilences, the diseases, and ultimately the final, tribulation, which is going to be thermonuclear destruction. It says, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitant. And this is what's coming. America is going to be completely destroyed. It says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. In America, they're really effeminizing their own men. Okay, destroying their own men. They're military-aged men, which is going to lead to, a weak army. All right. When it's time, when all hell breaks loose, these motherfuckers ain't gonna be able to do nothing but know how to twist their tips. They twist their hips like they in a TikTok video. Okay, let's go back. It says, in the NLT, it says, her mightiest warriors no longer fight. Yeah, they don't want to fight. They don't want to fight, man. These motherfuckers got an eye for each other. You got trannies in the military, man. All right, talking about they don't want to break a nail. All right, but these Russians are, battle tested. Warriors, man. They out there wrestling bears and shit. Okay, they want all the smoke. It says they stay in their barracks, their courage gone. They have become like women. And a lot of people, in the American military, it's a bunch of women. You got a bunch of women in there, but all them people that's in the military, they went there for a so-called better future. They're not in a mind state of dying. Okay, so like it's about to get a little loud. Buenos dias. They're not in the mindset of dying, for this country, man. All right, they're not in the mindset of dying for anything. They trying to get a college degree. They trying to get a damn called Camaro. They're not in it, to go in there and fight to the death. So a lot of them gonna try to run, and hide, and ultimately end up dying, man. It says, they have become like women. The invaders have burned the houses and broken down the city gates. Yeah, so it's going to be bad, man. It's going to be bad for this country, man. And that's why YAHWASHI has given us the eye salve and the understanding to know what's going on in these times. The Lord willing, we can be delivered when this destruction does come. And for you Akim out there, younger Akim, he said 20 to 26 or 18 to 26 or something like that. Which it's definitely going to go up. They're going to start going for people 30, 40 years old, 60, 50, It's going to be a meat grinder, okay? That's what the U.S. military is, a meat grinder. So the more people that die, the more people that they're going to come and get. And ultimately, if you get drafted into that war, you're going to be destroyed. But we know the Lord going to look out for his men, for us that's serving him. And if it come down to it, if we got to be cast into prison for not going over there into that war, so be it, man. All right, remain firm in YAHWASHI. We in some trying times. I'm seeing brothers, they starting to get shaky. They're starting to see how real it's getting, and it's gonna get worse. But stay prayed up, stay in the spirit of YAHWASHI. The Lord is with us. Shalom,